Man, the AI world is buzzing right now. It's hard not to get caught up in all the hype, especially when it feels like things are changing so fast. Remember all the talk about Gemini 2.0? Yeah, well, buckle up because Google just dropped something even bigger, Gemini 2.5 Pro. And based on these videos and blog posts you sent over, it's making a serious splash.
It really is remarkable how quickly things are moving. It
Yeah.
seems like we were just wrapping our heads around 2.0, and now we're diving into 2.5 Pro. It's incredible to see this level of innovation happening at such a rapid pace.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we're doing today. A deep dive into Gemini 2.5 Pro. We'll be looking at those initial announcements and some of the first-hand accounts that are blowing up online, especially those videos you mentioned. We know you don't have all day to sift through everything, so our goal is to get straight to the heart of it. We're talking about the key ideas behind this model, what it can actually do technically, and of course, some of the most exciting examples and demos that have surfaced so far. Exactly. We're focusing on what's been presented in the videos and the blog posts, no speculation or hypotheticals. Just a clear and concise overview of what they're saying this model can do based on the information you've provided.
Sounds good. So let's get into it. The main takeaway seems to be that Gemini 2.5 Pro is Google's latest and greatest, their most intelligent model yet. It's not just a minor upgrade. They're calling it a thinking model, emphasizing its ability to tackle complex problems. And apparently, this enhanced capability comes from improvements to both the base model itself and the post-training process.
I think that emphasis on thinking capabilities is really interesting. It suggests a shift towards more inherent reasoning abilities rather than relying solely on specific prompts to guide the model.
Right, and the response so far has been pretty wild. The experimental release of 2.5 Pro shot straight to the top of the LM Arena leaderboard. Just to note, that's a platform where people can interact with and rate different AI models, seeing it leapfrog models like what they're calling GPT 4.5 and Claude 3 right out of the gate. That's a pretty big statement. Yeah, I mean, the speed at which it climbed that leaderboard, based on user feedback and comparisons, it definitely suggests that a lot of early testers are impressed.
And here's what's really cool. Google has made Gemini 2.5 Pro experimental free to use through AI Studio. It's at studio.google.com. And get this, there are no charges for input or output tokens. That's huge, especially for a model performing at this level.
Free access for experimentation, that's a game changer. It removes a significant barrier for developers and anyone who wants to try it out and push its boundaries.
Oh, and it's not just for developers either. You can also experience this experimental version of 2.5 Pro through the advanced mode in the regular Gemini app. That's at gemini.google.com map. So yeah, it's pretty accessible if you're curious to see it in action.
Having it accessible through both the developer platform and the regular app, that's a smart move. It allows a wider range of people to get their hands on this technology.
Okay, so we know it's generating a lot of excitement, but let's dig into the nuts and bolts, the technical stuff. The videos and articles you shared point to some pretty impressive benchmarks. It's not just competitive, it's apparently outperforming other models in key areas like Humanities Last Exam, GPQA Diamond, which focuses on problem solving in quantitative situations, science, and mathematics. And we're not just talking about beating out smaller models here, it's even topping some established paid models like OpenAI's O3 Mini in some tests.
Benchmarks are a good way to compare models on specific tasks, but we should remember they don't tell the whole story. Still, seeing strong results across a range of metrics, even against top-tier models, does suggest some significant advancements.
And it's not just about answering questions correctly. The sources also highlight big improvements in reasoning and coding. That coding aspect in particular has been showcased in some really cool demos.
Yeah, enhanced reasoning opens up possibilities for solving more complex multi-step problems. And improved coding, well, that has huge implications for software development and automation.
Now, here's a detail that really jumped out: the size of the input context window. Gemini 2.5 Pro has a massive 1 million token capacity. To give you an idea of what that means, one of the videos showed a real-world example. They took the entire HTML source code of a long, messy music blog called Build Different. We're talking 71,000 tokens, 222,000 characters of complex code. They fed the whole thing into the model with a simple request: extract all the embedded YouTube and SoundCloud links from the iframes, and it worked. It pulled out every single link. That really highlights the power of that expanded context window. Imagine what you could do with large documents or data sets.
That example is a great illustration. Processing and understanding that much unstructured data, especially poorly formatted HTML, and extracting specific information, that's a significant leap forward. It suggests a much greater ability to grasp complex relationships and patterns within large amounts of text.
And it gets even crazier. They've announced a 2 million token context window is in the works. Imagine feeding an entire software code base into the model for analysis or help. That could be a game changer for developers.
A 2 million token context window, that would open up so many possibilities. Having that level of understanding of large projects could revolutionize code analysis, debugging, and maybe even lead to more creative code generation.
On top of that huge context window, the Google models, as highlighted in your sources, also have some other neat features. There's grounding, which basically means the model can access and use information from Google Search in real time. Plus, it natively supports PDFs, and not just the text, it can understand images, graphs, and charts within those documents.
Those are some really useful additions. Grounding ensures the model's responses are informed by the latest information, and that PDF capability makes it much more versatile for working with documents.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech, but what does it actually look like in action? The videos showcase some really cool examples and demos. Let's start with the coding, since that seems to be a big focus. One demo that's gotten a lot of attention is the creation of a simple, endless runner game. You know, like that pixelated dinosaur game using just a single prompt in Gemini 2.5 Pro.
That's pretty amazing. Creating a functional game from a single high-level instruction shows just how far the model's ability to understand intent and generate code has come.
For sure. And even Sundar Pichai, Google's CEO, shared his excitement about this dinosaur game demo on social media. That's a pretty strong endorsement. The demo showed Gemini 2.5 Pro generating the JavaScript code for the game, and then, this is the key part, they showed that the code actually worked in a web browser. It's like instant game prototyping.
Seeing the entire process, from prompt to working application, that's what makes these demos so compelling. It's not just theory, it's tangible proof.
There was also a mention of a 5-vibe coding game example, but they didn't really go into detail about what that is exactly. It sounds like they're exploring a variety of creative coding applications.
Even without the specifics, the fact that they're showcasing multiple game development examples highlights the potential for rapid prototyping and creative coding with this model.
Now, it's worth pointing out that not every coding demo was perfect. There was one involving a ball in the hexagon prompt, basically. The AI had to code a simulation of a ball staying inside a hexagon. The results from Gemini 2.5 Pro were generally good, but in the demo, the ball still managed to escape the hexagon, especially at the corners. Interestingly, they mention another model, DeepSeek V3, actually did a better job on that specific task.
It's a good reminder that even the most advanced models have their strengths and weaknesses. That ball in the hexagon task, although it seems simple, probably tests the model's understanding of physics and spatial constraints, and it's fascinating to see how different models perform.
Beyond the coding, the demos also showed some other potential applications. We saw glimpses of interactive charts for health and economic data, as well as nebula simulations. It really gives you a sense of how versatile this model is across different fields.
Absolutely. Generating complex visualizations and simulations from simple prompts could be incredibly useful in research, education, data analysis, you name it.
Another practical example that caught my eye was the demo where they used Gemini 2.5 Pro to create an SEO agency landing page from a pretty basic prompt. That opens up some interesting possibilities for marketing and web development.
The ability to quickly generate a functioning landing page, even from a simple prompt, could save businesses and individuals a lot of time and effort in the online marketing world.
And then there's this cool experiment where they fed a YouTube video transcript into Gemini 2.5 Pro and asked it to write a blog post. The results, according to the source, were really impressive. It was fast, the writing was described as very natural, it came up with relevant headlines, included links back to the video, and even produced a pretty lengthy article around 1,500 words, all from the spoken content of the transcript.
Wow, that's impressive. It shows the model's ability to not only convert information from one format to another, but also to do it in a way that's structured, engaging, and contextually relevant.
They even did a head-to-head comparison between Gemini 2.5 Pro and Claude 3 for creating an SEO cost calculator. While Gemini managed to generate functional code for the calculator, the consensus seemed to be that Claude's output had a more sophisticated, user-friendly design and a better overall user experience.
It's a good reminder that even when multiple models can achieve a similar result, there can be big differences in the quality and design of the output, especially when it comes to things like user interface.
And for the techies out there, it's worth noting that free API access to Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental is available through platforms like OpenRouter. This means developers can integrate it into their own applications and workflows without any upfront costs.
Free API access, even in this experimental phase. That's a huge opportunity for developers to explore and potentially incorporate this technology into their projects.
So, with all these impressive demos and capabilities, it begs the question, what's behind this apparent leap forward for Google? One of the videos you sent breaks down the key factors for success in AI model development: data, science, and hardware. And according to them, Google has a strong hand in all three areas.
That's a good framework for understanding the AI landscape. Having robust data, cutting-edge research, and the computational power to run these models is crucial.
First, there's the data. Google, with its vast empire of search, YouTube, and countless other services, has accumulated an absolutely colossal amount of data, which they use to train their AI models.
That massive, diverse data set gives Google a big advantage when it comes to training powerful and versatile models.
Then there's the science side. Google has a long history of AI innovation, with many of the fundamental technologies behind large language models coming from their research labs. They have a huge team of leading AI researchers and scientists.
That deep investment in research means they have a strong intellectual foundation and the expertise needed to push these models forward.
And finally, hardware. Unlike a lot of other AI companies that rely on third-party hardware like NVIDIA GPUs, Google has been developing its own custom chips called tensor processing units, or TPUs. This lets them optimize their hardware specifically for AI, something that's harder to do with general-purpose hardware.
That close collaboration between Google's hardware and AI teams is a big differentiator. Designing hardware tailored to their models could lead to significant performance and efficiency gains.
The argument is that many other AI companies focus on one or two of these pillars, often partnering to fill in the gaps like OpenAI using Microsoft's Azure for computing power, or the widespread use of NVIDIA hardware. Google, being strong in all three, has more control and can integrate the entire development process.
That kind of vertical integration can definitely speed up innovation, reduce costs, and allow them to fine-tune the whole system for optimal AI performance.
We even saw hints of this with earlier Gemini models, like Gemini Flash, which reportedly offered similar performance to competitors at a much lower cost. This suggests Google's hardware efficiency could mean more affordable pricing for their advanced models in the future.
If Google can maintain that edge in both performance and cost, they'll be in a very strong position in the AI market.
So, to sum it all up, based on everything we've seen in these videos and blog posts, Gemini 2.5 Pro looks like a major step forward for AI. We're seeing advancements in reasoning, coding, impressive benchmarks, a huge 1 million token context window with even larger ones on the way, and the fact that it's currently free to experiment with is a fantastic opportunity.
This deep dive has been all about distilling the key information from the sources you provided, the main ideas, the technical capabilities, and those captivating examples and demos.
And that brings us to our final thought for you today. With all this rapid progress in AI and Google making this level of technology so readily accessible, what could it mean for your own work or areas of interest? We encourage you to check out Gemini 2.5 Pro yourself through AI Studio or the Gemini app. See what it can do and start thinking about the possibilities. The world of AI is changing fast, and Gemini 2.5 Pro seems to be a significant development in that evolution.
It's definitely an exciting time to be following AI.
It really is.